Sarthak, I have sent to you on mail. Okay, so fine, perfect. So everyone, please read this bank full.csv file into the data frame like this. And you have to okay, and then we will create the first chart here. It's called okay. Let me know, guys. Just ping me that everyone is okay to read the file. Abhishek, Deepak, Pankaj, Sarthak, Shamsher, everyone. Let me know, guys, please. Okay. So Shamsher is done, Sarthak has done. Others, please confirm so that we can go together. Abhishek, okay, you cannot read the file. What kind of issue you are facing? What error is coming? Can you share? I think I have given access to share to everyone. So I stop sharing and please share your screen and we can see. Anyone else is facing the issue, then let me know. Okay, let's share the Abhishek first and then we go. Invalid syntax. So name delimiter is not defined. What is this delimiter? There is no such thing. It is called SEP, SCP, SCP equal to. Delimiter equal to. Sorry, not SCP delimiter. Yes. Now it will be fine. It has read the data. Oh. So, okay. How you find this is the error. So what we do in this case, how we find the actual error message. We go to the end of the stack trace. Yes. So it is saying me file not found error. So please decrypt this message. File not found. Oh, sorry. File not found error. This does not exist. So guys, in the call, everyone, please help Abhishek that what could be the wrong. Okay, there some share is saying something. It is bank file name is wrong. So Abhishek, please check. Is it true?
So I saved the file by the name bank. It is bank, and I have saved it in user. So I have saved the file here by the name bank.
We cannot see. Okay, may you is your file copied at the same location where this untitled one is there?
So
Where
let
you
me
have.
check. Oh no, it wasn't there.
So if it is not at the same location where your this Python notebook is, then definitely it will be error. So
Okay.
either provide the absolute path or the relative path.
Okay, sir.
Please copy the file and then it will be okay. So let's go to the next step. I share my screen. So once we are done, so this is a delimiter, guys. So it is a CSV extension in the file, but there is a not the comma separated values, but semicolon separated values. So this is how we can read those. Now this is the data. Now one of the plot which is very important is uh, the counter plot. So counter plot job is to create the bar chart kind of bar chart where we provide the column name on which we need to create and the data source. So data is nothing but the data source. So we already have taken the train as a data frame, and now we use the count plot API. Then we provide the name of the column for which we need to create the column name, on which we need to create the counter plot, and also provide the data source. So here data is nothing but the data frame which we have just read from the bankpool.csv. Okay, and this is how we can, it give me all the data: management, technician, entrepreneur, blue collar, unknown, something like this. These are the categorical data, and it is giving me the distribution. So it is quite visible that from this chart that how the data is distributed for each categorical variable. Okay. So here we are using the matplot. We are not using the matplot library. We are using a Seaborn. Seaborn internally use a matplot library. So on the net you will find various examples using matplot, but we don't use. So what I found that Seaborn is something which is quite good. It internally use a matplot only. So we have a kind of record. So when I run this, so you can see this kind of uh, output which is coming. So internally it is matplot only, but it is a wrapper Seaborn has created to uh, do easy charting. Okay, this is one of the examples for categorical variable to create the chart. So what happens that we found that there are many different kind of job. So what we do in the next step, this is Panda's feature that I would like to replace management and admin only by say one category, admin management, services and housemaid into home service only, and the retired student and employed unknown into unemployed. So we are merging the different category into single category. This is the way to reduce the categorical variable. So during this, we found some useful syntax that will be very helpful later when we need to do this kind of simple operation. Okay, guys. Take care of these syntax. Remember these syntax that how to replace. So we have taken different categorical variable into the list. This is the values that need to be. Which variable we run show on? Show on. No, this is not needed. You can use. Okay, Sarthak. So replace function is kind of function which replaces a value actually. Okay, we are replacing the existing value with some other value. Now, as we can see that there are many values for the type job. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So what we need to do here to merge few category into just one category. So like I would like that management and admin to be just one category. So what I did, I need to replace management and admin with a new category I called admin management. Okay. Now there is another category, service and housemaid. I would like to replace the service and housemaid with only one category, home service. There are different category jobs, which is retired, student, unemployed, and unknown. So I would like to replace all these values with the unemployed only. Okay, Abhishek, I will share with you, with all of you, the today's recording and the Python sheet as well, which I have updated today. Okay, I will share by today only. So the link is same, which I already shared. So you keep that link with you, which I shared on the, I think on the, I or Ajay, I think Ajay has shared. So I will keep uploading the all the recording and Python sheet there only. Okay. Everyone has that link, so please keep it safe with you. If someone has missed, let me know. However, it is available in the WhatsApp, so not issue. Okay, Sarsat, let me know if it is okay. So I have taken the value list of values. So this when we put this square bracket, it is a list. So I have taken the list of value which need to be replaced with a single value. Okay. So and now when I created a chart on the job, it is giving me only 7. So earlier it was around, I forgot the count, it's 10 or 12. Now we have only 7 categories like that. So it is now admin management which is coming up here. Okay. So keep these syntax, remember, because these are the most common syntax that we use. And similarly, we can create the for the marital. Now, if I need to create the marital, so I just replace the column name marital, and it give me the counter plot for another column. So quite easy, in just one line I can create the counter plot. Okay. So this is a visualization of a counter plot, and there is one issue, not the issue, but it is coming like this. Let me check. Counter plot is here. Counter plot. I would like to see the classes. I have put it on Y, so that now it will come like this. Okay. We can rotate like X and Y with this. Now next plot, which is I hope it is okay. Now I'm moving to the next plot, which is called distribution plot. Distribution plot is very useful in finding the distribution, that how the data is distributed. So we will go into the mathematics part of this later when there will be mathematics class, that how the distribution is. So what happened in the distribution is it is taking care that probability, it creates the bins. There are different bins from say we have the balance, it is in negative as well. So we are checking that we are plotting that how the data is distributed in different bins. Okay, so this is how the distribution chart come up. So let me give you the more good example of a distribution chart. So if I go to the say, go not a good chart to describe the distribution chart, but okay. We go to the France. No, this is not a good. So this is also distribution chart. If, so if I draw a line here like this, so this is called a distribution chart. So it is a different binning. Here binning is done by the date. That how on which if we put the range of the date, then we can also create a distribution chart. Okay. So this is the same the distribution chart here. So if I go some good example of the distribution, so this is categorical distribution plot. So these are the distribution chart which come up. So we create a different bin of some range. This is -3 to -2. This is -2 to -1, and this is another -1 to 0, 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. And it put that what is the probability. Actually, it is a probability distribution that during that in this particular range of value between -3 and -2, how much probability is there of the data to be there of a particular feature. This is what is here, that how the data is distributed uh, for the balance. So we have the balance, one of the balance column which has containing many data. So here we were checking how the data is distributed in all the range. And there is a global not global, say Gauss distribution, which is normally followed by the data. So if we go to the another chart, which is say for China, I think it is quite good. If you will look, this is the normal distribution chart. Yes, there is one peak here, but if I draw a line on the top of the all the towers, which is there, all the columns which is displayed. So this is me, is a distribution chart. This is a normal distribution chart which is followed. To all the people who are in the job, we can say that this is also called the bell curve. Okay, so this is a distribution chart for the balance. In this way, we can find whether it is following the Gauss distribution or not. So here, this chart is skewed towards the left. Okay, because it is all towards the left side, the data is more, and it is very less. It is a tail which is going to the right side. So this is distribution plot is used to find whether data is Gaussian distribution or not. And what I ask you, we have created on the balance. Let's create a distribution chart on the edge. Let's see whether it is following the distribution chart for that or not. So what we are doing is simply say just plot data frame name and then the column. I say the age and we can drop. So now this is following a little bit of Gaussian distribution for the age. Okay, is it clear to everyone? Another column that can be used for this, we have the balance. No, nothing. Good. Okay. Count plot is mainly for the categorical variable, and the distribution plot are all for numerical variable. We cannot have a distribution plot for the count categorical variable like we have for say job type. For column job, there cannot be any any distribution plot because this is not a numerical data; it is a categorical data which we have. Okay, is this clear to everyone? Yes, no. Okay, Sanjay is fine. Anyone else? Abhishek, Sarthak? Okay, Sarthak is fine. Deepak on distribution. Okay. So let's just learn the API at the moment, and then when we will go and solve the when we create the model and we will do the exploratory data analysis, it will be at that time we will not be lost during the we will not be lost for that how to do this, how to draw the chart and all this part. So syntax will be known to us, and we will be more focused on model creation and uh, so Deepak, I think you have not gone through the statistics class before. Yes, Deepak? Okay, so what we are planning is that tomorrow, yes, it is for everyone. Tomorrow we will have 1 hour statistics class from 5 to 6. Those who do not have. So if anyone would like to even get the revision, can join it. The class starting at 5. Okay. So there all the statistics will be for, that has been done will be redo. Okay, Deepak. Perfect. Tomorrow there is a class for 5 to 6 for everyone for a statistics part. So today you just learn the API and how to do, and all statistics will be cleared tomorrow. Right? Yes, Sarthak, you are facing some problem in implementing the count plot. So please share your desktop and we can see. I have already I stopped sharing. Okay. And just a moment, I think we are not. Um, so what problem you are facing? Because I can see the data has been modified.
Sir, the second data, services and housemaid data is not being shown in the next graph.
Just read the file again and run the code again. No, read the file again from the top. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay. And this, so it is there, sir slash how. Yes, run it. Run the next column. So unemployed. So this is student and retire has been converted. Is okay. Okay, I share my screen now. So this is how I have. So on the age we have done this kind of chart. So we have the distribution plot, we have the counter plot, distribution plot, and next important plot is the box plot. So box plot is also used for finding the actually the outer say out what we say then extreme values inside the data. Okay, so these are there are some always exist some extreme value. For example, I have created the box plot on the balance type. So what we need to do the box plot is the same box plot. Then we are putting the column name from the data frame. So train is our data frame and this is the balance is our column name. So this is how the box plot is getting generated, but it is also skewed. Reason being, these three value, which is more than 80,000, is causing the skewness, or that is it will go this uh, uh, at higher side we have the extreme value inside this, and these are called outlier. Outlier are the values which are extreme values and have very less frequency inside the data. So it may be because of okay data is like this, maybe because the source provider is doing something wrong. We don't know. We have to ask the source provider that why there are occurrence of the some extreme value. So extreme values could be at the positive side as well as the negative. It means extreme value positive side is very high values, or at the lower side is something which is very less, that is in minus. So what we see from the box plot, we can visualize that what are the values which are very high. Outlier in the higher range here for the balance feature. So we can say if we remove the 80,000 and this value, the box plot will be very much into shape. For example, similarly for the age, train.age, look at the box plot. The box plot is coming very good. And just because there are few values which are more than 90, if we remove these values, I think the box plot will be more into the shape. Okay, so the job of the box plot is to find the outlier value inside the visualize the outlier value for a feature. Okay, this box plot concept is clear. So it will be more there in statistics that what is the uh, meaning of the box plot. So this value on the left is that this is the minimum value, and this value on the right is the maximum value available for this. So let me see. Okay, so on the left it is a minimum value, on the right it is the maximum value for and this one is the 25% quartile. This is the median, and this is a 75% quartile. Okay, so and here more than 90 something can be considered as an outlier. So if we remove that, then all these values will fall into the distribution from minimum to maximum. Similarly, if we remove the value from the balance, which is of having like more than 80,000, this kind of very rich people here, we remove from them. So the data will be more put into shape. Okay. So this is the purpose of the box plot. Box plot. So these are the three charts which are of the most use in when we do exploratory data analysis. From the counter plot, we will be able to know that what is the distribution of the categorical variable. So in the categorical variable also there could be outlier that few categories are very less compared to other categories. Okay. Or some categories are very high as compared to the other feature. So this is something from the visualization of the counter plot we can find the outlier inside the categorical variable. And inside the distribution plot we can identify whether it is following the Gaussian distribution or not. And one of the important part of the Gaussian distribution is that if your data followed the Gaussian distribution, then more accuracy will be of your model. And later during the feature engineering, we will study that how we can transform the data into the Gaussian distribution. That will be part of the feature engineering classes. There we will discover and do practice on many. There are 3 and 5 methodologies which will be used to transform the data from the skewed distribution to the Gaussian distribution. Right here, as you can see, for the balance, we have a skewed distribution, which is skewed toward the left. And look at the age. Look, age is something which is following the Gaussian distribution, more or less. So we will study the technique which will transform the data of the balance from the skewed to something like this, which we have in the age distribution. Okay, that will be part of the feature engineering. And box plot will be used to find the outlier inside the data. So during the ADA, we will use the box plot. So we have to create box plot and distribution plot for all the numerical feature and counter plot for every categorical value. Okay, is this okay? We are good till now? That what is the purpose of these graphs and charts? Okay, Sarthak, fine. Everyone else? Okay, Deepak, I hope it's clear. Fine. So next chart is so till now the chart that we have created, they are taking only one feature into account. For example, counter plot, we are taking just one feature job. For say distribution plot, we are taking only one feature for balance. For box plot also, this is taking only one feature. Now we go to the another plot, which is called a scatter plot. Now the scatter plot is actually always between the two features. So here we are taking say age, and here we are taking the balance. Okay. So what we are doing here is we are creating the feature. We are creating the scatter plot to find the correlation between the age and balance. That what is the age, then how the balance is distributed and all the range of the values of the age. Okay, so this provides that what is the correlation between age and the balance or any other feature. So this is how we can define. So here what we are doing in the X, we are providing the column name. So always remember that X equal to age is nothing but a column name inside the data frame that we have read. So in the data, we are providing the train, and here in the X, we are providing the column name of the data frame, and in the Y, we are providing the balance. So here on the Y, we have the balance, and on the X, we have the age on the X-axis. Okay, this is how the distribution is. So what we have found that for the age of somewhere 50, we have the highest distribution. These are 3 points which were coming as a very high in the box plot. So we can say that it is around the age 50. This is around age somewhere 58, and these features more than 80 is something which is for 50, 60 or somewhere in 85. We can also see that these are the outliers from the distribution chart, from this scatter. Sorry, from this scatter. And these are the 3 which is quite high. And we can see that most of the data is concentrated where the balance is less than 20,000. For the age and distribution, we can say that 20,000 is something which is the most of the balance is there. Okay, is it clear? That's how it is. Another important part is of the group scatter plot. So group scatter plot is something where we are grouping the data on basis of some feature. For example, here we have the balance and age, but we would like to visualize the data group by say marital status. That's how the data is grouped. So what we do, we keep all the like same scatter plot X. So this is a scatter plot. We put the X, we put the Y, and then we put the hue. Hue is not something with the color, but yes, it is color. But coloring the all the dots of the scatter plot by grouping based on the marital state. This is how the data is marital. So hue is for married. We can see the married distribution. Orange is for single. So definitely people who are less than 30 are mostly unmarried. Okay, and their distribution chart for the green dots are something which is for a divorce. So we can see that by the age of 40, most of the people getting divorced. Okay. So this is kind of a distribution, and it is showing that how much balance is there. Okay, so this also give you a very good visualization of the data grouped by one feature. Okay, guys. So you may be thinking that where it could be used, but when we will go for the exploratory data analysis for different problem that we will do later, it will come very handy to visualize. Okay, but this is the way that we are doing the scatter plot. These are 4 most important charts that we use in machine learning. Let me know if it is clear to you. Everyone, please try at your machines to draw these. This is practice that you can create many charts as well. So this is something that you get familiar with the API, so that later when we do the exploratory data analysis and model creation, so at that moment we do not need to go through the syntax and all these things. So we will be more focused towards the model creation and not towards the Python syntax. Python syntax is something that we will complete today, and then we will start learning about the model and everything. So anyone else who has not able to yet done it on the scatter plot? or not able to understand the scatter plot? Deepak, Shamsher, is it okay for you guys? Okay, so Shamsher is fine. Deepak? Okay, so we have seen count plot, box plot, distribution plot, scatter plot, group scatter plot, and another most important part is the heat map. So what is heat map? So we are doing the heat map like this. So we are here using the say API for what we say for matplot. So what we are doing here, remember this is an F and AX. So we need to, what we are doing here, we are creating space on the notebook where we are defining the size of the chart that is going to be there. And here we are providing the size to the map for the heat map. So what actually heat map do? It creates the chart for only for the numerical value. Correlation is something like how the one feature is dependent on other. It could be -1. It could be in the range of -1 to 1. If it is -1, then it is very high correlated. It is but it is negative. That is, if x is increasing, then y is decreasing, or if x is decreasing, then y is increasing. This kind of correlation. When it is 1, it means when x is increasing, the y is increasing. When x is decreasing, then y is decreasing. But there is a correlation. The correlation could be positive or negative both. But we would like to visualize this. We would like to know that for all the numerical feature, what is the correlation value there exists. So what we do, we create the heat map. So inside the heat map, this is a data frame. In the data frame, there is an API which is called core. It is nothing but correlation. It provides the correlation value. When we say n0 equal to 2, so the numeric digits which are appearing on the graph start coming up. Okay, AX is nothing but this is a chart which we have defined here. And line width is something which is, you can see white line which is dividing different boxes. And here the correlation is coming. We are on the x-axis we have the feature name, and we have the y-axis we have the feature name. On the diagonal it always be 1 because this is the correlation of feature of one feature to its own feature. For example, this previous. So here on the y it is previous and it is previous. So definitely one feature to its own, there will be always a correlation of 1. So this is how we can identify that how age, so how age is correlated to say balance. So we can say 0.098, the correlation value. How the balance is correlated to the days, so it is 0.0005. How it is campaign is correlated to periods, so we can say this is a value, campaign and periods. This is a value which is a correlation value. So if you would like the age, so age with previous is this, previous with age is this, age with periods, age with campaign, age with this, age with this. This is how we can read this particular heat map. Okay. So anyone has any question on this? On the heat map? The heat map is nothing but a correlation of different features. It is providing the correlation values of features. So what is correlation and all? As I described, but you will have one tomorrow at 5 to 6 in the statistics. a little more information about the code. Okay, let me know if heat map is clear to everyone. Okay, what is AX? So there is a question from Sarthak. He's asking that what is AX inside the here. So this is a kind of space Sarthak that we are providing. AX is coming from Matplotlib. So if I this is a kind of space of the chart which is should be allocated to on this. So what we are doing, we are using the matplot library here. So matplot library, using the matplot library. So this PLT will be something which is coming up. You have to do like this. This part, something like. Before you call this library, you have to call. Like this. Matplotlib, pyplot as PLT. So PLT is a subplot. So subplot is actually doing, we are finding the figure size. What should be the figure size? So if I say 8, so it will be very small chart which will appear. Okay. So it has shrink. So this is how we are defining the size of the graph. So AX is nothing but consider take it as the amount of space allocated to okay. Okay, so we go to the next. So this is all about the chart. So these are the most important chart that we have: the heat map, the scatter plot, box plot, distribution plot, and the count plot. Maximum, most of the time, actually, you use only these 5. If there's something else come up, then only we go for different charts. So if, how many charts are there, you can find here in the APIs. For categorical, we have cat plot as well, strip plot, song, box, violin, boxing, and these are the 4 categorical variables. For distribution, we have only one. We have a regression plot, matrix plot. This is something we have already seen, which is heat map. Okay, so these are the mainly charts that we go for. Others are not so much of use. So these are the main. Cat plot is something. Let me show you. Okay. These are all about charts. And now I would like to go through a few of the important part in the function. So let me know if the heat map is clear to everyone and everyone is able to draw this. Okay, Deepak, Sarthak, Shamsher, everyone is able to draw all the charts. Okay, Sarthak is fine. And Deepak, Shamsher is okay for you? Okay, so just try it, Shamsher. I also take 5 minutes break, just a moment, just to get the water, and then we start with some little bit concept of the Python, so that I will give you little advanced, few advanced value of the feature of the Python that will be used during EDA. EDA means exploratory data analysis. Okay, everyone, Shamsher and Deepak, just run this. So because I insist on running, reason being that once we run the code, so we keep remember this. So when it will come later, So it will be easy to recall. Okay, guys. So let's move to the advanced, little bit advanced of the Python. Okay. So let's create the function in Panda. So these comes really very important while modularizing your code. So how we define one function is like this. So we create the definition. We put this keyword def. Then this is a function name, and can put any code here, and then the returning value. This is how the function is created, and we can say function one. It is returning me one, or we can call this function inside any other method. So this is like okay. This is simply how you define the function. So most of the time we will use these functions, which can be used later as well. Okay. So this is quite easy. Now, if you need to create function with argument, so you can simply define like this. It is not necessary that you always return something. There could be function which return nothing, something like this. Okay. So here we are putting my function with argument, and we say like this. And the good thing is you do not need to worry. So it could be when there is an argument, there is no on runtime. It can decide what should be the type of the argument. At the moment 23, it take it as integer. When I click like this, it is giving me okay. Uh, it is able to return to execute for a string as well. Okay, is this clear? How we create the function? Just try it now. And what I need from you from the practice is that create a function which take a list as argument and which print the maximum value from the list. So what you need to do, suppose that you create a list, uh, num list as equal to 3, 7. Okay, now create a function which return me uh, the maximum number from the list. Okay, assignment clear to everyone? Is function creation okay? Let's simply put this function and then do the practice. It will refresh a little bit of Python syntax. Deepak and Shamshir, is it okay? Is function, how the function are created, and okay, and what is the problem that we need to solve? For the practice, we need to create a function which give me the maximum number from the list. So, for example, the print should print 23. So it should return, sorry, it should return a value 23. My function maximum argument max function. Sarthak, is it working? The code that you have put? Okay. Anyone else? Can you share, Sarthak? Can share, right? Okay, so good. This is you see the max open. You can also return the value as well from function that assign the value into some other variable and return that. Or say simply put return max arg.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so Deepak is I think fine. So let's go to the next. I share again. So one of the examples that I would like to share with you, which are the best practices as well for the pandas. So here we are creating one data frame. So query data frame data, which has a one column which is number, and around 1 million record I have added into this. Okay. So once I added 1 million record, it is a quite huge data frame. And now how we will iterate over it. So how do we iterate the data frame is like this. So in the data frame is this df.iter rows. So I will share this. So this code is nothing to write. So by iterating over this, so it takes around 1 minute time. So I have put this percent time over here. So this is the key. So it give me that how much time each cell is taking. Okay. Using the percent time, it also tell me that what is the wall time. So it take around 120 seconds to iterate over all the rows of the data. Many times it is needed that you iterate each row one by one and you apply different transformation on the rows. Right? However, rather than using this time, if the data frame is just have one feature, if it has more feature, it will consume more memory and it will take say more time uh, to iterate over all of the full data frame rows. So there is another method which is called ITR tuples. ITR tuples only takes less than 1 second. So it is a huge time saving when we are doing the iteration over the data. Okay, is it clear? So whenever we need to iterate over the data frame and need to do some operation, we can use the ITR tuples instead of ITR rows. Clear, everyone? It will save you a lot of time for big data frame, for big data set. And this comes very handy when you go into the real world problem where we have millions of record into the data. Oh. And so I will share with you this sheet so you can practice at home for this. Another part usually come that if we need to merge the data frame. So what we are doing here? This is the data frame, one data frame that we have created. So this is the raw data, and from this data we are creating the data frame with different say sub column. So this is how we can create a data frame like this. I created another data frame. So this is a DFA, DFB data frame, and another data frame. Now we need to combine the data frame. So how we do combine the data frame? So what happened that this data frame has around 4 rows, 5 rows, DFA, and we have the DFB, which is also having the different rows. So how we concatenate these? So if we need to say combine the data frame by rows, that is we need to say uh, append one data frame into another data frame. So this is how we can do the concatenation. So this what happened many times it happens that we have different data frame with us and we need to combine by the row. This is how we can append the rows uh, of the different data frame into one. Okay, so if there are more than one, then we can put more than one data frame value because this is a list of data frame, as you can see that we are adding the list of the we are inputting list of the data frame. We can have as many data frame with us and it will give us the concatenated data frame. Okay, is this clear? So these are just the API that you need to take care. I will share this sheet with you, and at the moment I'm just explaining that how can you. Okay, and sometimes what happens that you do not need to add the rows, but you would like to add the column. So we can use the same as concatenate. Okay, suppose we have the two data frame A and data frame B. So at the moment what we did, we added by the row. So if you need to edit by the column, so we just need to put this x is equal to 1. So what x is equal to 1 signifies that add the data frame but by the columns. So x is 1 means by column. Okay, so rather than concatenating by rows, it has concatenated by the it has appended one data frame into another by the column rather than by rows. So this kind of scenario also happen that you have two data frame, but you need to add this. So similarly, you can use the concatenated. This is right. And sometime you need to based on say adding column based on index. So because we have the data like here, we have some index value here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you need to join based on the say index, so we can say that okay, we use the merge API. We provide that okay, what is the data frame A? So it happens only for two data frame, data frame A and data frame B. Right index equal to true and left index equal to true. Based on the index, we can do the merging of the data frame. Earlier we were doing the concatenation, so it was directly concatenating here. But we would like to merge, so we can merge like using the index on this. We are saying the right index to use the index of right and left both indexes. They should be same. If they are not same, they will not be joined. But sometimes it is necessary happens that you would like to join with the different column name. So rather than the index, we also provide the append this, but using the column subject ID. Okay, so here we provide that what is the column name on which we need to join on this column and how. So how is something we have outer, inner, left, and the right. So this is how part comes into picture. So when you go, it is like outer join, inner join, take care of the left only data, only right only data. So this is based on some column you can specify. But I would like to more to work on this lambda function. This is something important that you can already do it. But lambda is something which we follow a lot. So lambda is so we have already created a function. Read the file. Now what lambda actually do? So let's try to understand the lambda function. So we have taken this column, and then this is applied. So this is one of the part. We need to apply the lambda. Lambda is doing nothing but it is kind of internal for loop which is going on. So when we put the balance and we say lambda function, so lambda x is coming in. So it could be any value. You can I have named it x. So row by row it will apply this particular operation on each row. Okay. So what I have done, I have print the value. So what we are doing, we are printing the value of x divided by the 100. Okay, so this is how kind of for loop, internal for loop which run. And what you can do here like this. So earlier I printed it. Now I created a new column, new balance, and I use the apply method on lambda x divided by divided by x divided by 1000. So I have applied this lambda function on this. So let me know if it is clear to you. So what we are doing, we are selecting one feature. So it applies. It always applies on one column. It is not possible to run it on various column at a one go. So it is applying. We are applying function by each column. We put the lambda. The value is of each of this column row by row come into the x, and then this method, this function, this operation is applied to that value, and it is stored inside the new column. So this is how I can create a new column inside a new data frame, a new balance, and new balance is like this. Okay, so let me know if any question on this lambda function, which is used a lot. We use a lot for data transformation, this lambda function. Yes, Deepak. Sarthak, Shamsher, is this lambda function clear? Yes, no? For Deepak, yes. Shamsher and Sarthak, is it okay? Yes, yes, definitely. You need to practice. But you are aware of that this is how it works. So it will be easy when you will do the practice that how it is working. So maybe you can just try to write the syntax so that you get aware of that how the syntax of lambda function is working. You may use some other feature like age and do any operation on that. This comes very handy. So at the moment I define just one function here. You can put custom function as well. So when I say custom function, so custom function is like this. Then I have new balance. Then dot apply lambda my function x. You can define the my function as well somewhere. Okay. This is also provide you flexibility. This is the most say very important part of the Python for advanced, that we are using the lambda, and we can call our own function here inside this. So any kind of data transformation could be done only here. So what I suggest you to do here, create a one function, and there is a complete distribution of age inside this lambda. So create a function like this. If and you can put the code like if age is less than say 25, so return string is young. If then 5 and less than equal to 5, return value. Is greater than equal to say 25. Oh, so what we are doing here, what we need to do here, we need to create function like this. So that when on this column age, we can create a new feature. What we can do, we can say create like this train age class equal to train, and then we have age dot apply. Then do the apply, this function that we have created, and then what you need to do, draw count plot on age underscore class. Is this clear? This column clear to everyone what we need to do? Okay, let's create a function which do, so this function that I have put the code may not be running well, I don't know. Okay, and once we created this function, let's apply this function on age column. We'll create a new column age class, and on this age class you need to create the count plot. Is it okay for everyone? Deepak, Sarthak, Shamsher, so this is the last exercise of the day. Here we apply here. So in this way we will be do the practice of both. Okay, Sarthak, is clear to you, and Deepak, is it clear to you the problem? That's what we need to do. Deepak, is it okay for you? Problem is clear. That's what we need to do. Anyone want to share screen? Karthik, Deepak, or Shamsher? We have reached somewhere. I stop sharing. Anyone want to share, please? Let me know. Okay, so this is perfect. So this is how what we have done here right now is that we have converted numeric feature into categorical feature. Okay, so they were it is so I hope this practice is making clear that how the lambda is working and how we created new feature called age class. So this added one new column age class, and it has one by one it is iterating over the rows, calculating, calling your function, and assigning the value into the age class by each row. And this is how you have created a count class. So at the moment it is on the Y. So Shamsher put it x equal to age class, so it will be horizontally visible. It will be displayed. Yes, like you can say there are more and more middle class in this the chart according to our classification. The very less the full team. Okay, I hope this is clear that how the lambda is working. So we use a lambda lot during our transformation. So it will come very handy to you. Sarthak, Deepak, is it okay for you? Are you able to get it at how it is done? You can share, Sarthak, if you would like to share. Okay, Sarthak is okay. Sarthak, is it okay? You have completed this session practice? Okay, then I'm from my phone. Okay, fine. So please do this exercise, and I will share with you the recording of today's session on the same link that I have shared earlier. Okay. So let me know any question query that you have right now for today's session, and then we close today's meeting. Okay. Any question query? Deepak, Sarthak, Samshay. Okay, so heat map is something Shamsher is about providing the. I think you do not. Where is it used actually? Okay, so Shamsher, when we go for the model creation, what happened that we need to identify that how different features are correlated to the target uh, value. When we say target means the value which needs to be predicted based on some feature. Hey, I will share the notebook as well, Sarthak. So I will update at the same location. So this is where the heat map is used. Heat map provide you the visual representation of the correlation diagram, the correlation of different the features. So let's go back to let me go back to the this. So let me be a little bit here. So what happened that we need to edit here? We have not added uh, we have not added the features which need to be predicted because it is a classification problem. It means it is a categorical variable. But we are trying to identify that how different features are correlated. So what happened that in the machine learning algorithm, if one feature is correlated to another feature, say we have say different feature. For example, here we have banking data set, we have balance and age. And if age is too much correlated to balance, either positive or negative, then we have to think that which feature need to take care, taken into account for model creation. Because both are providing the same, going to impact the model in the same way. Okay, and there is a concept of called multicollinearity that we will when we will have the statistics class, you will studied. Multicollinearity is something which causes less accuracy in the model. Using the heat map, we can visualize the correlation, and if there is a high correlation, then the model will be having the less accuracy. So we have to think that which feature to select. If there are two features which are highly correlated, then we start the model creation using only one of the features. Okay, we create the model with one feature, and then we find the accuracy. We create another model with another feature only. Then we see that what is the accuracy of the model. We take into account both the feature, and then we try to create the model, and then we are going to again check for the accuracy. So, and in this way we create three models. So we check that which one is actually having the highest accuracy, and we select only that model and that feature. So, but before that, we need to be aware of that what are the features which are highly correlated. And heat map provide the visualization of the correlation. Okay. Yes, yes, Deepak, you are right. This is applicable for feature selection. So during the feature selection part, we do all this. So it is in the beginning of the exploratory data analysis, we identify that what features are to select create the base model. So when we will go and create a base model for our first problem, then we will use all this part. So at the moment, keep in mind that these are the way we can do the correlation diagram. Okay, Deepak, is it clear? Any question on this? Okay, so any other query and question, and we close. Shamsher, Sarthak, Deepak, any other query? Okay, Sarthak is no, fine. Deepak, any other query? Shamsher, any other query? Or we go to close the session. Okay, so much percent matplotlib online. So this is a kind of workaround. What happens for some of the APIs? Sometimes this API just doesn't work. That it doesn't show the data. So we have to put matplotlib inline. So meaning the inline is that it is displaying the graph and chart inside the notebook. Sometimes it doesn't work. On MacBook, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes on Windows it doesn't work. On sometimes on Linux, the API was not able to display the chart even by calling the say SNS heatmap or matplot library. So this is a kind of API call which is done so that the graphs and charts can be displayed inside the Jupyter notebook. Okay, Shamsher, is it clear? Maybe you have put a space between percent and m. Sometimes it works like this. For me, it gives me error, or sometimes try this part as I did. I think it will work. Can you share that? What is the issue? Maybe you can share the screen. I stop sharing. Put the space between percent and m. Maybe some version issue or something. Or Do not use it at all. Maybe it will work. Matplotlib. You are missing the L inside this. No. In the percent. Matplotlib. No, you have to remove the T. Keep the T as yes, like this. Okay, so this is okay. So we close for today. I will upload the file, Python and this recording. And yes, this happens many times. Spelling mistakes are common in programming. Issue. Okay, guys. So let's close for the session today. We will have session tomorrow at 5 o'clock for statistics, 5 to 6, and 6 to 8 will be the regular session. Okay. Okay. So talk to you guys later. Thank you. Bye bye. And be safe. Good night.